What is going on, everybody, man? King Recon here, and welcome to another episode of the Recon's Piece Awesome Sauce, man. Episode 55. I have a few things that I want to get into today. Before we get into any of that, man, you see that bright light on this side of the screen? The sun is beaming. Alright, this man Ace said, Kai. And right now, I don't know if Sabo's awakened, Akainu's out there, I don't know what's going on. But son, it's beaming. It's hot. Usually I blame my lack of energy on my sports teams. You know, always blame the Philadelphia Eagles first, because they have me more stressed than any other team you could possibly imagine. But the Heat, bro, ooh, it's hot. It is hot. I was only on there for a few hours, and it feels like I was about to melt. I mean, out there like Sanji whenever he first got back post time skip. That's how I felt, bro. I mean, I feel like blood's about to come out, bro. Crazy. And I'm used to this type of stuff, man. But I don't know. Lately, it feels like everything's been getting harder and harder and harder. And I don't know if it's because the climate and the world is embracing or I should say, bracing the fact that we're about to get into some real heat in the One Piece manga with the raid finally starting and the Oda going up in like swimwear ever since we entered Onigashima. It's been crazy. But with the raid starting now is when the fire emojis are gonna start popping up everywhere. Now is when the heat is about to start going off, man. But on a serious note, dude, it's harder than Flagnards. So if you see like any breaks or me going to get some water, dog, you know why. You know why? Because I'm gonna dehydrate if I don't get some water. You know what I'm saying? But regardless, man, everybody out there is having an awesome sauce of a day. What an awesome week that it's been ever since the chapter came out. Really cool speculation and theories and discussions happening, of course, thanks to the hype of what's currently going down in the manga, which chapter 987, you know, with the stuff going down possibly with the Minks, with Kaido and his possible past. You know, we talked about that earlier on in the week. The Kinemon greatness, the Luffy greatness. You know, it was a wonderful week for One Piece. And then we had an awesome episode with the Hiyori and Zoro awesome sauce. And then just in terms of other stuff happening in the world right now with basketball, man. Yeah, it's been a crazy week, you know, seeing D-Lard go off and all the teams trying to get in. Devin Book and the Suns going up in like swimwear they were 8-0. It's a shame that they weren't able to get in, because I would much rather see a match between Phoenix and Portland to be able to get in the playoffs. But it is what it is. But overall, man, it's been a really cool week. And then Trails in the Sky, man. Just finished the second chapter of that game, and what a marvelous video game, man. And I'm currently on the third. I haven't really dived much into that one yet, but based on what I've gotten with the first two games, I can't even imagine what's in store with that awesome game series, man. But let's talk about the awesome sauce, the best-selling manga in history. If you guys aren't aware of a YouTube channel out there, there's a YouTube channel called Totally Not Mark, who is currently going through the series for the very first time, and he's doing reviews whenever he reaches, like early on it was for like a specific set of arcs or a portion of the story, but now he's doing it by arc. And today, if I'm not mistaken, I believe should be out already by the time this video goes up, knowing how bad my internet is, you know what I'm saying. But it should be out by now. He's doing his Marineford review today. So we know how we are in the One Piece community when somebody's getting into the Marineford awesome sauce and experiencing that for the first time, because we remember how we felt when we experienced that incredible arc for the first time. And he's had some really great videos reviewing the arc so far, so definitely check out that playlist, and for sure check out today's Marineford video, because I can already tell it's going to be a special one, man, just based on the videos that we've gotten so far. So shout out to Totally Not Mark. He's going up in like swimwear and releasing some awesome videos. I always love seeing people experience the journey and then share their journey wherever it is, whether they do it on YouTube, on social media, and in terms of my friends. It don't matter, man. As long as people are experiencing the awesome sauce, I always love being over the shoulder, like how are they reacting to certain moments, certain characters, certain arcs and stuff like that. I always love that type of stuff. So definitely check out Totally Not Mark if you have not done so already, man. Dude, the dub is finally back. The dub after God knows how long. I mean, we had just recently gotten back from a hiatus, and I understand why they weren't releasing as much episodes after Fishman Island because they wanted to release a lot of the specials for the 20th anniversary of the anime and whatnot, and I totally get that. But we finally got some more Punk Hazard awesome sauce. So last time the batch was, I believe, from episode 575 to 587, and now on multiple storefronts across multiple digital media platforms, we finally have episodes 588 to 600 of the Punk Hazard greatness. And that stuff is really, really nostalgic for me, because that, around this portion of the anime is whenever I started reviewing the series weekly on YouTube back in 2013. So a lot of this stuff is really special to me. I know it's not the best stuff, not even close to the best stuff, not even in the arc, you know, let alone in the series, right? But it has a special place in my heart, you know, this little stretch going on here, and so I'm looking forward to rewatching that in the anime and seeing. I love Law's voice actor, man. Shout out to Matthew Mercer, because my boy be going up in like swimwear, and he's a great Law. He's a great Law, and the rest of the awesome cast and the dub. So I'm looking forward to experiencing that. I'm probably gonna wait until it comes to the Funimation subscription service, and then I'll be able to watch, because I haven't finished my watch through on the original Punk Hazard dubbed episodes that came out. So I'm gonna look forward to whenever that comes onto into the subscription, that I'll be able to watch all of them together, and that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, man, episodes 588 to 600. If you're a person who watches the dub, make sure to check those out, because we're steamrolling, man. We're getting near to some awesome stuff. I'm going to, since they're doing it by 12 episode like margins, and releasing them in 12 episode batches, I'm going to assume that the following batch is going to cover from 601 to 613, and then after that from 614 until 626, right? So we're really close to Dressrosa in the anime, which sounds crazy to me considering how long we've been in limbo. But the end of Punk Hazard, I'm looking forward to seeing how they deliver on certain stuff, because there's some really special content in that, like volume 69, volume 70 range. So many great episodes. Some of the most awesome fighting sequences in the series, like episode 616 with the Law and Virgo and Smoker stuff, man. To this day, that still looks magnificent, and let alone when it first came out, man. So definitely go ahead and check that out to prepare ourselves for the incoming greatness in the Punk Hazard anime and the dub. Hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have another batch of episodes ready to go up in like summer, man. Now, before we get into the topic of today's video, which if you see the title, we're going to be talking about that chapter 956, Big News Morgan's awesome sauce, man. You already know. You knew, based on the other chapters that I've talked about, you know, looking back on and whatnot, you knew 956 would come eventually. I've been super excited for it, and today's the day. But before we get into that, I haven't been able to stop thinking about this latest chapter, man. There's just so many things within the chapter that are either discussion-worthy, noteworthy, or just praiseworthy. You're like, man, Flagnards, what an amazing moment. Like, for example, this Kinemon moment right here, man. Whenever he starts talking about, you know, whenever Kaido was talking about the concept of betrayal and how, you know, you guys aligned yourselves with pirates, but pirates will betray you when they know you'll lose, they'll abandon you and sail away. And I've already beaten Straw Hat Luffy into submission once. And then this man's like, yo, you speak slander. Kinemon's like, don't ever try the king ever again, dog. That's Monkey D. That's the world heavyweight champ for the past 23 years out on these seas, dog. Don't ever disrespect my boy like that again. This man says, Sir Luffy's not like you. He will one day stand at the pinnacle. The pinnacle, the zenith. My boy said he's gonna stand at the peak. Mount Fuji, #1 on the leaderboards. Did y'all play Call? Bro, listen, man. Y'all know me. I'm Mr. Call of Duty. I mean, maybe not anymore. I'm pretty bad at the game now, but back in the day, I was Mr. Call of Duty. Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Call of Duty 4, World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2. Yo, boy was playing it every day. That's what I would have made videos on had I never gotten into One Piece. And no, I can't even imagine that. It would have been Call of Duty and One Piece related content with some Bleach and whatnot, but that's what the channel probably would have been, because I would have gotten to YouTube regardless. It wouldn't have mattered whether it's Call of Duty, One Piece, no matter. But so, Mr. Call of Duty, right? #1 objective is to take dubs and be number one on the leaderboard, regardless of whether it's on your friend's leaderboard or on the worldwide leaderboard. Now, I never made it to number one worldwide leaderboard, but in Kill Confirmed Modern Warfare 3, your boy was top 1K. I used to take off in Kill Confirmed. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to reach the pinnacle, the zenith. Looking every single day, refreshing the page, who's number one on Kill Confirmed? Because if I ever catch that person in a lobby, I'm botting them. Botting with that MP7 extended max rapid fire. Are you kidding me? I dared anyone to step up into the awesome sauce. And that's what Kenny Mo's talking about. My boy's like, yo, my boy's on top of the leaderboards. Luffy has a 7.5 KD. He's out here using the UMP 45 intervention. He's 360 no scope and he don't care. He's got the whole squad. Optic Phase, who's that? That's the king. He will one day stand at the pinnacle of this sea. If every last one of us dies, he will remain. No matter what takes place, no matter what happens here within this war, we know that that person, the king, has way more to do with the rest of the world. He has more ambitions. He has more things that he wants to do, more things to be accomplished. This ain't the end of his journey. Don't you ever disrespect my boy again. Mark my words, daybreak will come into Wano, and that is the promise that I made to my Lord Kozuki Oden. I was like, yo, Kinemon. And the crazy thing is that before this speech, I was already in a Kinemon mood. I was like, yo, this man has been climbing the ranks in the past couple of chapters. Especially last chapter, man. I was like, yo, when he had that moment with Conjuro, I was like, hold on, Chief. Like, wait, right? Kinemon's been having some awesome moments. But this one right here was so dope to me because it's sort of like an Alliance member's version of the "He will be the king of the pirates one day" speech that the other Straughts have delivered at least at one point in time in the series. And I always love that type of stuff when they hype up Luffy, because that's all I do. If there's one thing that I can do on this channel, it's hype up the king. You know what I'm saying? I may not be smart, I'm not analytical, I don't know what I'm doing half the time, I can't edit. But you know what I can do? I can hype up the king. You feel me? So look, man. Then in the following page, they start talking. Big Mom's like, yo, why'd you come here, dog? And then Yamato even starts questioning whenever Luffy's like, yo, like that ain't it, Chief. I ain't here to beat Kaido. And then even Hyogoro, who was training with him the whole time, was like, Flagners, what's this man on about? And then this man, the king, like he's done so many times. Like he did, I mean, like I was saying earlier on social media, I was like, yo, my man's always kept that same energy. Ever since the beginning of the series, when he said, listen, I'm going to go out here and try to accomplish my dream of becoming king of the pirates. Whether I die trying, so be it. But at least I tried. And I died doing what I love to do. Attempting to be the very best at it. Attempting to reach that zenith. Attempting to reach the peak. And so it's like, man, my boy said that, yo, I came here to whoop everybody. I don't care if it's Big Mom, Kaido, your subordinates, your family, your generations, your parallel universe versions. You want to bring out the Steel Ball Run, your Marvel Cinematic. I don't care. When it comes to what's going on here in Wano, I am going up intellect swimmer, and anybody who wants to get in my way is going to catch a piece of these hands. They're catching all the smoke. All the smoke. And he's always been about that. Always from the very beginning. I can look back to the very beginning of the series, it's always been about the smoke. And no matter who it is, when he's going to do something, he's going to do it. And I dare anybody to attempt to stop him. And there have been times where he's been stopped, but he's come back. He has come back after that to go up in like somewhere, man. And that's what I love about his mentality and his energy, because it's something so inspirational. Especially in a moment like this, with so many obstacles. And not just obstacles that are minimal. We're talking about major, major, major obstacles. And Big Mom and Kaido, Yonkos, emperors of the sea, of these oceans. People who are on the same tier. And with Shanks, Blackbeard, Whitebeards. Like, these dudes are no joke. Some people believe that Kaido's the strongest person in the entire verse. This is a massive obstacle here, folks. Big Mom is no joke either. So it's like, yo, two emperors with their crews here. Now, granted, Big Mom's crew isn't complete, but still, massive obstacles. Luffy knows the powers that both of these individuals have. He got one-shotted by Kaido and could barely damage Big Mom in Gear 4. It took him an entire night to take out her first commander. Luffy realizes how strong both these characters are. And with the real hockey training, and with all these people that are here next to him, my boy said, yo, I don't give a flying flat who any of y'all are. If all of y'all want to try this, bring it. Bring it. It's all out war, baby. And he's always been about that energy, but just seeing that in this scenario, after all the things that have happened, and him flexing his King's hockey and his observation hockey, and I'm going to assume his real hockey soon, it's like, yeah, we're seeing Luffy, the GOAT with a coat, really truly become an emperor in this arc. And it's so GOAT to see the way that Oda has set it up, because it hasn't been just out of nowhere, bam. It's been a slow process of him going up in like somewhere and truly coming into the role of not only being a true leader like he's always been, but being a captain first and foremost, and then being an emperor of the sea, bro. Like, yo, when Luffy released that incredible speech on Jinbei back in chapter 101, telling him, yo, you best come back, because you know who your captain is now, dog. And I'm going to be waiting for you in Wano, so you better make it back alive. Ever since then, it's just been a rising momentum of this man not only becoming an emperor in terms of strength and in terms of gaining that type of clout around the world, you know, with his alliances that he made in Dressrosa and in other portions of the series, but especially in terms of just oozing that energy. Because he's been oozing a lot of it in Wano. He's been flexing all kinds of energy in Wano. Even after getting one-shotted by Kaido, he's still been flexing that energy. And I've been loving seeing this side of Luffy, especially in this arc, where he is taking this very seriously, and you can tell. But then, even though he's taking it seriously, and you know for a fact that he wants to make sure that everybody gets out of here safely and does not have a Sabaody situation where everybody gets knocked out and wiped out and they have to start over again from scratch, this is a situation where he legitimately believes that he can win this, and they can win this. Like, this is a moment, this is in the very same arc where he was like, yo, we gotta be careful, we gotta be serious, we're in a Yonko's crew. I should say, we're in a Yonko's territory. And we've gotten to a moment to where, with all that's been happening in this arc, with how seriously they're taking this, he then comes out and says, yo, I came here to whoop everybody, I don't care who it is. And it's a all-out war, baby. Like, yo, I may be one person, but at the end of this, I'm standing number one. I'm standing number one. And I dare anybody to stop me. And I loved it so much, man. Like, it was so great. It was such an awesome Luffy moment. Definitely one of my favorite Luffy moments in this arc, if not my favorite Luffy moment in the arc so far. Because, yo, I mean, just the context behind it. I mean, yo, you remember back in Fishman Island when he called out Big Mom over the Denden Mushi? Like, that was over Denden Mushi. This man is doing that to her face right now. And it's like he has done it before. Like, he did it on Whole Cake Island. But, yo, what Kaido and Big Mom here is like, yo, my boy's like, give me all the smoke. And the great thing about it is that just like back in Enies lobby where he declared war on the world government, he was like, yo, man, let's get it. Let's go. And Marineford doing everything that he did and Impel down just to save his brother. Like, you know that he's reckless. You know he doesn't give a flying flag. But just reinforcing the fact that RMC don't care. It's inspirational, man. It really, really is. Especially when presented with so many major obstacles, you're like, yo, I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this. But when you have this type of mentality, this type of energy, you're like, yo, I don't care what's in front of me, man. I'm coming out of this with a dub. I'm coming out of here with a W. You feel me? I'm coming out of here making sure that all my people get out of here too. And I love that about Luffy, man. And I like it. Yo, that's some serious king energy, and without question, my favorite part of this chapter. Even with the incredible stuff here at the end as well, and the stuff happening before it with like that incredible speed or promo by Kaido and then promo by Kinemon, and then after that Kaido transforming, like, yo, when he transformed into a dragon, he started laughing. I was like, yo, I'm gonna show you the greatest army, the greatest power in the world, dog. I'm accepting your challenge. And move over to this incredible double spread. Like, bro, this spread right here is so incredible. This portion right here with Kaido and the moon sobered up. with the Scabbers, the Akazaya going up in like just incredible stuff, and I cannot wait for the next chapter. I don't know what's gonna happen in terms of, I don't know if Kaido's gonna wipe them all out on some Thanos stuff. I don't know if Kaido's going to blow up the moon like the theory's been going out to be. But I think even before he blows up the moon, if he does do that, there's gonna have to be a moment where the Minks have their Sulong transformation. I firmly believe that because it's been built up for so long that at the very least we have to see them going up in like swimmer. I gotta see my boy Neko Mushi in Sulong form, bro. I gotta see Neko, Goat Mushi, and Inarashi going up in like swimmer, working together against Kaido and Sulong. Do you know how hype that's gonna be, dog? That's gonna be major hype. Well, then with the rest of the Akazai and regular Nekomamushi took Kaido's claw out of his hand. Wait until he goes Sulong form, bro. My boy's gonna go up with like so word. I can't wait for it. So hopefully we do get those transformations just for the hype, man. Just for the meathead energy. I need that in my life. That's gonna be so much fun. And then just to see Kaido going up in like swimwear with some more incredible dope spreads. This week's chapter had like 6 dope spreads, man, on some Marineford stuff. And even with that, it was still a 17-page chapter. And I was like, holy flag darts, you know, like it was really long, and I appreciated it. I was like, yo, you could tell Oda put a lot of love into this, and I understand that he was on break, but yo, my boy was on break. Woo, he was putting in that work to make sure this chapter came out with as much juicy content as possible, so we can pick it apart and discuss it and talk about it in this way before I went on a Golden Week break, which I believe that is what this week's break is, right? Golden Week, or whatever it is. But yeah, man, just what an incredible chapter, and I can't wait for the next one, dude. I mean, this stuff is popping off, with Luffy and Big Mom down there. We still don't know what Sanji's doing. I want to see Yamato versus Ulti again for that round 2. I want to see what some more of Yamato has in store in terms of combat ability and whatnot. And then just to see, what's going to happen with Kid and Law and Zoro. And just so many different factors, and I can't wait to see where it goes here, son. It's going to be so dope. But, yo, let's go ahead and talk about the greatness, son. Because I've been wanting to talk about this chapter for a while. I've been, ever since I watched Stampede and read this chapter, I think I started first with this chapter. And then after watching Stampede, I've been in a massive Shichibukai mood. Massive Warlords mood. In the video games, in Pirate Warriors, my second most used character, I believe, behind, no. I think it's third. It's either third or second. My number 1 most used character is Luffy. And then number 2 and number 3 are Katakuri and Hancock. But I use Hancock a lot. Hancock and Mihawk. I've been in a massive mood for like Hancock, Mihawk, Dofi, Croc, like all the pre-time skips Shichibukai. And I think it's thanks to the hype brought in 956 and in Stampede. Because in Stampede, Mihawk and Hancock is such a glorious showcase, especially Hancock, dude. She has some of the best scenes, both from a comedy standpoint, from an entertainment standpoint, and from a combat standpoint. We're like, yo, Boa flipping Hancock, son. So I've been in a Hancock mood. I don't know if it's a quarantine either, dog. You know what I'm saying? Gonna be on that way too, you heard? But definitely been in a Hancock mood. And but Mihawk too, bro. Like thinking back on chapter 925 and then 956 with the hype, yo, he had an entire army coming over. Like he was chilling on the chair. But and then of course like playing the games and watching Stampede, and whenever he one shot at the meteor, I was like, all right, yo, this is Dracula Mihawk. The pop in the theater when Hancock and Mihawk showed up. I mean, yeah, that felt like Triple H came back or something, dude. You feel me? Or John Cena or something. It was GOAT. But regardless, man, because I'm in a massive Shichibukai mood, I've been wanting to look back on this wonderful chapter to remind myself that, yo, when this Act 3 current ends and we go back around the world, we're going to see them again. With the Shichibukai system abolished and they're free to go up in like somewhere, I can't wait to see what goes down, man. But let's get right into it. I'm going to go page by page and then comment on it as we go. Please feel free to follow along, man. We're going to be reading from the beginning all the way up until the very end, with chapter 956. I just really wanted to look back on it and reread it on camera because what an incredible chapter it is, man. And I can't wait for the volume to come out so that I can own chapters 956, 957. Hopefully, I don't know if in that same volume is stuff like 966 and 967, but we'll see what happens in terms of that. But anyways, let's start right here. Look at this glorious panel of the Ryukyu Palace down on Fishman Island. Congratulations on finishing the trip. Thank you, Sir Luffy's grandfather. And looking at Shirahoshi here, man, it's insane because I remember back when we were first making theories and thinking about what was going to happen in the Reverie, it was almost like for sure that Shirahoshi was going to be kidnapped or Shirahoshi was going to be utilized in some sort of hostage situation because of the caribou plot line that was handled in Fishman Island, right? And the fact that it didn't happen, and yet there was even crazier stuff that happened, just has me like, man, like it's amazing how this man breaks your ankles. You feel me? Because some of these theories that you're so 100% in stone, like, yo, that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. Especially in the Reverie. Like, yo, we were all for sure like, Shirahoshi's gonna get kidnapped. Dragon's gonna show up and have this awesome, massive moment and stuff like that. But instead, we get Shanks in a hoodie. It's the Messenger Sama, the giant straw hat, and it's like, yo, Jewelry Bonnie, some sort of connection with Kuma. Sabugo being like Summer, like crazy stuff. But Shirahoshi did have one of my favorite moments of the Reverie arc whenever she finally gets to see the entire world, and like, yo, that what a wonderful world moment. Really emotional stuff, and I love that for her character. You must be tired, Neptune. Bwahaha. I'm positively tuckered out. You've earned yourself some rest. You've earned some rest yourself, Garp. Well, I can stay long enough for tea, but given the circumstances, not any longer than that. The Reverie almost seems to result in chaos. You've got 50 heads of state together in one place. Do you think they're going to get along? Each of them has internal trouble on their plate. The greater powers suddenly stare each other down, while urging their smaller allies into fights using resources and tools as leverage. Differences in wealth and religion, it will ensure that kings are never truly equals. When it comes time to join hands, they smell and grind each other's boots under the table. How many kings can actually speak equally for their own people and others? A round table indeed. Yes, the discussion was fraught with tension. Roots grow deep in the history between countries. We're just another part of that. As long as no blood is spilled, I'm willing to call it peace. But this meeting was a bad one. Yeah, I remember being like, flag nards, what happened? I was like, dude, what is he talking about? No, this is a bit late in coming. But there's one thing that happened that I haven't told you about yet. Following the close of the Reverie, something happened just after we left. I got the report while on the ship. The Navy is using its full resources to solve the matter. But for now, I beg of you, don't be fearful of the surface and of human beings. The incident is regarding the Kingdom of Alabasta. What, Princess Vivi? And I'm still like I'm still like, what? Like, what is it? And every time, like, you guys know, if you have an opportunity to talk with somebody else who's into One Piece, especially lately, for me, a lot of the conversation has resolved around what's happened in the Reverie and these post-act chapters. And one of those things has been, what in the flying flagness is happening with Vivi and Cobra and Alabasta? Because we know that within that saga, within that arc, that's when we were first introduced to the ancient weapons and the possibility of this Void Century. And it's a very important arc to the overall scheme of the story. And we know how important Vivi is as a character, and we had a feeling that Cobra was going to die within the Reverie. But because we got no answers, we're like, what in the flying flash is going on? And then chapter 908, with Vivi's picture being held, specifically Vivi's picture, being held by Instant Messenger Sama, going up those stairs of legend to sit in the empty throne. And you're like, why Vivi? This great cleansing is happening now. Are they going to bust Call Alabasta? Is Vivi captured? Is Vivi being used as a hostage? Did Cobra get annihilated? Is this the popular theory out right now that Cobra got waxed? Which I can most certainly see happening. But it's like, man, what happened? The incident is regarding the Kingdom of Alabasta. Because up until this point, you're like, okay, alright, it's probably something to do with the abolishment of Shichibukai. But no, and the fact that Garp states, but for now I beg of you, don't be fearful of the surface and of human beings. Like, how ominous does that sound? That sounds very, very ominous. Don't be fearful of the surface and of human beings. Like, come on, coach. The incident is regarding the Kingdom of Alabasta. And Shirahoshi, because, the entire harem was up there with Shirahoshi, with Rebecca, with Vivi, it's like, flagnards. What happened with Vivi? And that's the thing that's crazy about One Piece, man. Because you had that little moment with the picture with Vivi's picture being taken up the stairs by Instant Messenger Sama, you're like, what is going on? Like, what? There's a massive question mark on so many different things. And now on top of everything that's happening, Something is going down with the Kingdom of Alabasta. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, I don't know how Oda's going to play this out. I don't know if we're going to get, more answers as we finish acts and whatnot, but by the Flagnards, like, when are we going to see what took place here? And I love it, and the longer it goes, I guess, without being answered, the more we can theorize and talk about it in this way, which is the whole reason why it was implemented in the story in the first place. But still, it's driving me nuts, man, for this whole Vivi plotline. Because now Kaido has brought up this thing with the ancient weapons and the SSG and whatnot, it's like, what is the world government truly doing right now? Because right after chapter 908, because in that chapter we have two situations and scenarios that could lead to something revolving around Alabasta. And the fact that Cobra and Vivi are so front and center, like, in a lot of this stuff is scares me. But in chapter 908, right, you have the moment right here. So the meeting has begun. They say that Cobra, King of Alabasta, desires an audience with us. 800 years ago, the Nefeltari dynasty was the sole bloodline of the first 20 to remain in the lower realm. In other words, they are traitors. Is he cottoned onto something? Let us pray it does not derail the talks. Especially with this discussion of Big Mom and Kaido, it has been 2 years since the Paramount War, and the roiling will not cease. The world's equilibrium cannot be maintained forever. The time has come for a great cleansing. So it's like, something happened with Cobra. We know that. I don't know if the dude got killed. I don't know if he's captured. I don't know if they're torturing him. I have no idea. You feel me? I don't know if they sent him back to Alabasta just so they could buster call the whole island with all of its people. Who knows? I don't know. What's a great cleansing? What is it? But the fact that right after that you have this moment with Vivi's picture being brought up too, it's like, what's happening? Like, what's going down? What is going down? So I don't know, man. I don't know. There's so many different theories and things to speculate upon this moment. And this is one of those to where I'm really, really interested and fascinated. Because Oda originally wanted to end this series very early on, and Alabasta was supposed to be like either like the 25-50% mark, right? Which is why so many things were introduced within that arc. For the first Shichibukai being taken down, the Void Sentry with some more talk about the Will of D, with the ancient weapons, a lot of stuff that still has not been resolved, and we know is clear endgame stuff was brought up for the first time within that saga. And then directly after that in Jaya, where we got the very first sighting of the Gorosei and of Blackbeard, and the rest of the Chichibukai, and some big major setting stones for what would happen later on in the story were finally taking place. So I know that in Alabasta, Oda must have had a big portion of the bigger picture of the grand scheme of the story already within his mind, and as a writer, I'm sure that very same piece that he's had in his mind for all these years has evolved, and as things that he's been inspired by has probably changed that idea and forced it in several different ways. But I think that core idea of Alabasta with Cobra and Vivi and their story being much more important to the bigger picture has always been something that Oda has had in mind, especially with the Reverie stuff. So it's like, what could possibly happen that would cause Garp to say, "Don't be fearful of the surface and of human beings"? Something major is taking with him saying the Navy is using its full resources to solve the matter. Now, the Navy is using its full resources to solve the matter. Could be something with the abolishment of the Chichibukai, right? But the thing is, but for now, I beg of you, don't be fearful of the surface and of human beings, which means there's a lot of chaos going on in the world right now, The Chichibukai are being hunted down by the world government and probably even the SSGs, but something is happening in Alabasta. Something is either happening or has already happened in Alabasta. Is it connected to the Sabo stuff? Is it connected to the Chichibukai stuff? I don't know. It may as well be. That's what the Chichibukai were first introduced. It may as well be, man. I don't know. I don't know what we got going down, but God, am I spooked. I'm really, really spooked for Alabasta, bro. I'm mad spooked, son. Like, mad spooked. But then we continue. It stands 1 week after the conclusion of the Reverie, and with the roar of the conference still hanging in the air. The heads of nation depart to travel back to their homes. Earlier in time, however, at the World Economic Journal. Here we go. Here goes my boy. The bear of big news. It's one thing after another. How can so many events be happening at once? I need the perfect headline for this. But which one gets the cover, boss? There's been a fatality. Big obits sell papers. That's a fact. But the vote results are fantabulous too. And an attempted murder, thrilling stuff. Double A15, I'm breaking the mold. 2 covers front and back. Yes, sir. I've got a telegram from the government, boss. Yowza! Get a gander at the digits on this check. They want me to cover up a story, but which one? Hoo ha ha ha. Bounce it back to them. They want me to sit on a story this big? Never. And then you see that one of the agents pops up, takes off the mask, and is like, yo, you're stopping this story whether you like it or not. You're gonna do as we say, Morgans. And then we have Morgan's, I mean, he bold, dude. He's like, yo, ain't nothing getting in the way of me delivering my news. Ain't nothing getting in the way of me delivering what the people need to hear. I'm a journalist first and foremost, baby. Screw your gun, screw your capabilities. I'm a journalist. Yo, it's Cypherpole. When did you infiltrate my payroll? Don't mess with big news Morgans if you know what's good for you. I'm the king of the news. He's the king. But boss beat up a government agent. I may be a money-hungry Scrooge, but first and foremost, I'm a journalist. As a DJ of the printed page, I get the people's heart dancing. And I'm the one who decides what news is fit to print. What an awesome line, dude. Like, seriously, what an awesome line. Our location's too hot, people. We're moving the office. Yes, boss. I've got a message from King Wapple, Mr. Morgans. Sounds like he's got some leaked intel. So then we have the intel from Wapple, which I'm going to assume has to do something with Alabasta, because we know that Wapple and Drum Island is so deeply connected to the whole Alabasta stuff. He probably has some leaked information, some leaked news about what's actually going down with Vivi, with Cobra, and the Kingdom of Alabasta. That is my safest assumption, and has been ever since the chapter came out, with what's going on there, man. Because, yo, crazy stuff. And including the incident the government sought to hush up, the news... Listen, including the incident the government sought to hush up. The news of the king's vote and resulting incident spread instantly throughout the world to the shock of many. Kamabaka Queendom, Revolutionary HQ. What? What does this mean? You can't be true. You're kidding. Sabo! It's the WEJ. That bird's lying through his beak. This is Sabo we're talking about. It's impossible. I don't believe a word of it. Our first step is to ascertain the truth, and yo, dragon's sweating. Sabo, please don't be true. We've lost contact with all of them. How do we confirm any of this? So, here's the thing. With Sabo, and these are popular theories that are currently being talked about and whatnot. There is a possibility that Sabo has a strong connection to what is currently going down in Alabasta. But the thing is that because they want to hush some of this stuff up, I'm not entirely sure if it is, but let's just say for the sake of argument that it is. If they're blaming or framing Sabo, because at first we're like, yo, is Sabo dead? But after being in multiple discussions and conversations, hearing theories, I'm leaning more towards the fact that they probably are framing Sabo here for something. Sabo could be being framed for multiple different things. He could be being framed for annihilating the Kingdom of Alabasta. He could be being framed for taking Vivi as a hostage, kidnapping her, to ensure her safety, but of course the entire world, kidnapping a princess. Killing Cobra. Killing maybe some other government official that's there. Causing a ruckus in the Reverie, and thus creating a certain scenario where somebody died. Something that would cause his very own crew, or the very own members of the Revolutionaries to be like, yo, this isn't right. Sabo wouldn't do this. It's got to be something to where they are framing him with something that is very, very bad. Like, yo, him killing someone like a Vivi or a Cobra, or kidnapping one of the two, or destroying an entire country or something. It's got to be something big. Something very, very big. Something that we know Sabo would never do. But I'm not entirely sure, man. It could very well be. Like, can you imagine a scenario where the revolutionaries wanted to free the slaves that were up there in the Marijoa, and then some of the slaves were killed by the celestial dragons, and they framed that in Sabo. So, like, Sabo has, like, multiple frames on him. Sabo has, like, multiple different accounts of, like, killing slaves, killing government officials, and then kidnapping the princess of Alabasta and destroying the country. Can you imagine? Like, can you imagine like that they put like multiple accounts of things that they've done under Sabo, and because he's a member of the Revolutionary Army, the people in the public are going to believe it, aside from people who actually know him. That's probably what happened. That's honestly probably what happened. And I'm most certainly on board on that side of the speculation in the community, that it's probably a part of that major plot line with what's going down there, and that he is being framed. But the thing is if he really is being framed for a lot of this stuff, then where is he and what is he currently doing? You know? And we're never gonna find out what he's currently doing. Goa Kingdom Royal Escort Ship. He was in Marichoa, my brother? Windmill Village, Goa Kingdom. What's up with Makino? Oh, Sabo. Right here we see the little kid. She closed the bar for today with all the news happening in the world, and we can't even have a drink to process this. Mount Corvo, Goa Kingdom. We only just found out that he was alive. Sabo, say it ain't so. And see, the thing is, that's what scares me, bro. And so like then you read stuff like that, and it's like, yo, are they crying because the newspaper says that Sabo died? Or are they crying because Sabo did something that is so unspeakable, or he's being framed for doing something that's so unspeakable that would cause people to like grow out in tears and be like, man, say that you didn't do this, say that you couldn't possibly have done this, you know? That's probably what it is. And it's like, man, my boy Sabo, bro, he's probably carrying a burden that is so, and I think that's why Oda specifically showcased that Sabo was getting really, really mad during chapter 108, because he was taking, you know, he was really pissed with the whole Kuma scenario. He was ready to start taking bodies, and so that's leading us to believe that maybe Sabo let his anger get to the best of him in one of those scenarios, and then that led to an opportunity for the world government to slip in and say, yo, it's him. Like, yo, can you imagine he got really, really mad, he punches a celestial dragon, or he accidentally, like, trying to punch the celestial dragon, hit somebody else, and then that hit, they took advantage, killed that person, then blamed it on him. You know, like, something like that. Because the world government would never do anything unless they had some sort of evidence. So they have to have something, some sort of dirt on Sabo. Because if they had some sort of dirt, then the entire rest of the story is easy to tell. He's revolutionary. They invaded it in order to take on the celestial dragons and whatnot, and did whatever means necessary in order to get to the very top, right? Including killing civilians or getting hostages and whatnot. You know, the story is very easy to tell. People would buy it easily, you know. So they have to have some sort of dirt on him, which means Sabo, in his rage, might have done something, man. He might have let his rage consume him for a sec, and he might have hit a celestial dragon to the point to where they would retaliate, or in the middle of trying to hit one of those individuals, he took out somebody else, right, or something like that, man. But they have to have some sort of evidence, like whether it's his blood or his fingerprints, something, his hat, something. They have to have something, man, to be like, yo, Sabo was here, and I can blame him for this now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gotta be something like that, bro. And here we have my boy Dofi, because, yo, anytime we get to see Dofi, man, that laugh is so good. Undersea prison impel down. Oh, the world never gets old, does it? Things are just getting good now. And I love how he's just reading the newspaper, all chained up, just losing his mind. The pirate island full of lead. Pack your bags on the ship. If the Navy's only gonna take it, I might as well claim the prize. And this thing is really, really fascinating. Because it's like, pack your bags onto the ship. If the Navy's only going to take it, I might as well claim the prize. What in the flying flagners is he talking about? You know what I mean? Like, I know back in the afterthoughts, I mean, we discussed a lot of this in the afterthoughts, but what is he talking about here? We could be talking about ancient weapons, fruits, an opportunity. What is it? Listen, if the Navy's only going to take it, I might as well claim the prize. What were we just talking about in terms of the Navy going out and doing whatever it is they're doing right now? They're going out to secure the Shichibukai because the system has been abolished, and to take care of the situation that's happening in the Kingdom of Alabasta. Which one of those two is it? It's got to be an ancient weapon, or it's got to be a fruit. If they announce in the newspaper that Sabo's dead, maybe they're utilizing it. They're utilizing that. They could be utilizing. Let's just say the newspaper says Sabo did something unspeakable and the world government killed him. Let's just say. So, Sabo did, I don't know, captured Princess Vivi, took Cobra hostage, captured Princess Vivi, hit a celestial dragon. It just did a whole bunch of chaos. And possibly also took out the Kingdom of Alabasta, whatever, right? So, because of that, he was executed. Let's just say, in the newspaper it says that after Sabo did all that, he was killed. He was killed in action. What about if they're utilizing that in order to lure Blackbeard out and get him out onto the seas, thanks to what Shanks revealed to them back in chapter 907 with the pirate that they all need to be wary of? And so now they're going to take out both Blackbeard and take care of that situation that's going on right now, because Blackbeard is a part of this great cleansing that's probably going to happen with all these, with you know, the pictures back in chapter 908. They would have to have some sort of way of bringing him out into the open so they could start doing stuff. Or they probably worked out a deal with Shanks, you know, where something goes on right here. They could get Blackbeard out into a secluded location, into a secure location, and Shanks told them, listen, dog, y'all gonna do this plan, y'all gonna do your thing. I understand. But make sure that when that man comes out, I don't want any admirals, anybody from the government, interrupting what's about to happen whenever I get my hands on that dude. We're gonna clash. And I want none of y'all having any sort of business in what's gonna happen whenever both of us start throwing hands. And that very well could be the case. Because if Blackbeard goes out there expecting to see Sabo's fruit, or expecting to see an ancient weapon, or expecting to see something, and there, instead of that thing, is Shanks waiting for him, then we get Shanks versus Blackbeard, and the entire conversation was to make sure that the world government stayed out of his affairs, I'd be ready for it. I'd be all ready for it, dude. And I'm hoping that's the case. I really am hoping that's the case. But if it's not, then what is he talking about? Because it's so weird in the wording. If the Navy's only going to take it, I might as well claim the prize. What is the prize? What is the prize? And what does he mean by if the Navy's only going to take it, I might as well claim the prize? That's very weird wording. It's got to be an ancient weapon, a fruit, or an opportunity. And I mean, if any either of those two is an opportunity, but what I mean by opportunity is something else. Like something else, like maybe Blackbeard uses this opportunity to go out and invade Fishman Island. Maybe Blackbeard uses this opportunity to go out to Wano. Maybe Blackbeard uses this opportunity to go find this ancient weapon in terms of Uranus, or whatever it is. Or it is something as simple as going to get Sabo's fruit. Because we know how bad he's always wanted the Meta no Mi. It's got to be one of those things. It's got to be one of those things, man. But regardless, all of this stuff is going to start connecting soon. And I really do think the Blackbeard plot is, just like everyone else thinks, is going to connect to the Shanks thing. And we're going to get that incredible matchup. And if that is truly the case, then holy flagnarts, with the whole world in chaos, Shanks also fighting Blackbeard, bro. That's going to be wild. That's going to be wild, son. Give me a second, I'm going to get some water. This chapter is something special, man. We're only 10 pages in, dude. And I feel like I have enough content from Millennium. You know what I'm saying, dude? Like, it was crazy. On a stretch of open sea. Here we got the Kobe stuff, man. It's crazy how they put this in the opening. Like, out of all the things, I guess that's how you can tell that even Toei's like, man, yeah, this is important. You know, this is really, really important. It's me, Kobe. Oh, hang on, I'll find a quiet spot. All right, sea. Mist. Really, all of that? Yes, we can't keep up with it all. And with all the sailors in the world. So as far as your situation goes, the military won't be acting on it just as we planned. I mean, we don't have the manpower. outside of Ebisu Wano. So let me go ahead and touch upon that, because we've talked multiple times about how they've said quite a few times that the world government will, or I should say the Marines will not be acting in Wano. This is going to be a pirate situation, a pirate conflict, because they currently have their hands full. They don't have enough manpower. But what about the SSG thing? Because Kobe is just, he says the military won't be acting on it just as we planned. I mean, we don't have the manpower. Now, Kobe is not a very high-ranking individual, right? He's not an admiral. So I'm not sure how much information they're going to be feeding him, or if they're feeding him false information or whatnot. But let's just say something does get resolved before this Wano conflict ends. They could very well show up, man. Like, don't be surprised if the Marines show up, or if the SSG shows up. Maybe even an admiral. We know how badly Kizaru wants to go over to Wano. He was like, yo, Sakazuki, send me. How hyped that would be, man. That'd be crazy. But, so for right now, though, it looks like they won't be acting on the situation because they don't have enough manpower, and maybe even with the SSG, they don't have enough manpower. Like, they've sent all these individuals to go out and carry the situation, or carry out the order of capturing everybody that, because they're going to need a lot of manpower to capture the Shichibukai. There is no way that with just regular Marines, they're capturing the Shichibukai. There's no way, especially characters like Mihawk and like Hancock, dude. You better send admirals to go send, you know what I'm saying? Especially Mihawk, bro. You better send admirals to dig up a boy. Mihawk will look at fodder soldiers, they'll look at him and they'll just pass out, dude. You don't even need to use hockey. They'll pass out just looking at him, dude. That's Dracula Mihawk, son. But, so like, with the Shichibukai, even with just them, they're gonna be, lost in manpower. But I do wonder if with the Alabasta situation, is there a battle going on there as well? Like, let's just say that for whatever, if Sabo managed to take refuge in Alabasta, right, with Vivi and with Cobra, and maybe the other members of the Revolutionary Army within like that core, like Karasu and Lindbergh and whatnot, they're fighting off the Marines over there in Alabasta right now, or maybe even an admiral, like Sabo taking on a Green Bull and in Alabasta or whatnot, trying to make sure that Cobra and Vivi are safe, or if Cobra's already dead, then just Vivi. So something could be happening there, and it could be utilizing the resources of the Marines as well. But I'm not entirely sure, man. Like, I don't know if the Marines will be showing up to Wano, and at this point, with all the craziness going down, I feel like they kind of don't have to. But if they do, that would add that extra bit of holy flag, nerds, this is actually happening type of effect. But for right now, probably safe to assume that not very likely to show up, but I'm not going to count it out because it looks like in Onigashima, you can't count on anybody entering that Royal Rumble, you know what I'm saying? But still, he says, we don't have the manpower. Outside of Ebisu, the land of Wano isn't a member of the world government. After all, that's for the best then. But since Big Mom showed up in Onigashima, the Navy's hoping the pirates will knock each other out. That is definitely what they're hoping for, man. Figures there's just one problem, Hokkaido and Big Mom were at each other's throats the other day. Now they're teaming up. And now they're shook, Navy HQ top secret special force captain of Sword X Drake. This man Drake is like a quadruple agent, man. I mean, he's out here. He's out here going up in like swimwear, and I can't wait to see the role that X Drake has for the rest of this arc, because there has to be a reason why he has this role, why Oda decided to show this before the Onigashima War started. So, and the fact that he's a member of the Toiropo, very, very exciting stuff. Let's see if X Drake does end up joining the alliance with Luffy and whatnot to go on and oppose Kaido and make sure that that situation gets handled as quickly as possible. But we'll see. Like I brought up in a live stream a long time ago, I believe, I don't remember on whose channel it was, but we were talking about this scenario and how, let's just say that X Drake were to have the authority, because we don't know just how high this sword goes, I don't know how many people within the Marines organization knows it even exists. But let's just say, for the sake of argument or for the sake of a discussion, that X Drake does have the ability to reach out to somebody in order to supply some sort of backup, right? So we know that he can reach out to Kobe. Who can Kobe reach out to? Can he reach out to Garp? Can he reach out to Aokiji, who's possibly also a member of SWORD? Can he reach out to someone? I don't know. I don't know who would be able to show up that X Drake could call up for backup. But it is a possibility that X Drake could call for backup from somebody to show up here and help in the cause here on Wano, or I should say on Onigashima. So just keep that in the back of your mind, especially since he's so close to Kaido. And as a member of the Tobiropo, we have not seen him in the last few chapters. Who knows what X Drake is up to? Probably up to investigating and ensuring and being observant and seeing how things go from here, because he sees what is currently going down, and he's warning them, like Flagners, they teamed up. Like, it's going to take a lot to be able to take them on, but maybe after seeing Luffy and seeing how everybody else takes them on, and if it turns into an equal playing field, then what will he do then? Will he move over to help out Luffy and ensure that Kaido and Big Mom get taken out? Or what would take place, And I think that's why X Drake is such a fascinating character, because I know that he wants to keep his role as a member of the Tobiropo so he can continue to gather this information in order to feed the members of SWORD and to feed the Marines. But what about if there comes a situation where he can no longer have that, or they figure him out for who he is, and then he would have to act at the moment. So I can't wait to see where they take the X Drake storyline from here on out, especially with his awesome fruit ability. I can't wait to see that in action too. But I'm going to assume, and I'm not going to go into assume, I can pretty much guarantee we're going to get some X Drake action pretty soon. I just wonder if it's going to be against another Tobiropo member, maybe against a Straw Hat at first, and then he moves over to fight the Beast Pirates and whatnot. I don't know. I don't know what X Drake is gonna have in store, and how long it's gonna take him in order to move, and in order to move forward with whatever it is that he's gonna be doing here. Because with X Drake here, the Marines are gonna have a way for them to get an intel and information for what's currently going down in Wano. So I do wonder if Drake could have a smoker type of situation at the end of the arc, where maybe like something happened where Kid and Luffy like share, like how they want, both of them want to take out Kaido. So X Drake possibly pulls a smoker where the government's gonna be like, we're gonna say that we did it, or something happened, that we're the one, and X Drake's gonna be like, nah man, like, this is a scenario where Monkey D. Luffy did the deed, or something like that, right? I could definitely see a situation like that. But if he doesn't do that because he doesn't have the authority to do something like that, then at the very least provide some sort of intel to the rest of the members of SWORD so they can continue to move and act with whatever's going down in the world right now. And I know that Kobe doesn't have his hands full because he's heading over towards the Island of Women with Hancock, but I'm so curious on what X Drake's role is going to be within Onigashima after they find him out, or after he reveals himself. So I'm excited. I'm very, very excited because they're a top secret special force. That means not a lot of people know they exist. So who can they actually reach out to? As for Straw Hat Luffy, the situation is stagnant, no news of a breakout. And there's one more foreboding bit of news. In the capital the other day, I saw CP0, and they were there. CP0 was there, and so with CP0 here, I wonder if they're gonna have any type of involvement or movements there in Wano. Or if SWORD is going to call out CP0 and the world government for their corruption, because they are moving. They're moving something, right? I don't know what's going down. He says, I saw CP0. What? Why are they in Wano? I don't like the implications. So we know that most members of CP0 were up, or at least the ones that we know, were up in the Marijoa protecting the Celestial Dragons. But with the other ones, they were down here. So I'm curious on those implications, like you said, on what does that mean? Like, does that mean that CP0 is going to come back? Because they were specifically talking with Orochi. And with Orochi currently being taken out, could Orochi reach out to members of CP0, telling them, to tighten up and come over here? Maybe they don't know what happened between Kaido and himself, and they still utilize like that threat of Kaido and whatnot in order to make sure the CP0 is still on their side, and they could move and do something, and that would cause X Drake to act possibly. And, you know, an X Drake versus CP0 type of situation. That'd be hype. That would be really, really cool. But also, what if CP0 was there as the strongest, or as strongest intelligence agency, in order to, after the war ends, to collect some information on the poneglyphs, or to collect some information to make sure that, like, the people who know of this thing, you know, are eradicated, or a buster call possibly. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna go down with this. This is just random thoughts coming out, but you know, with CP0's involvement and with the movement of those weapons and whatnot, and supplying them with all this stuff, I wonder where it's gonna lead. But I'm pretty sure that it's probably gonna, if there is any more involvement with CP0 within the arc, it's gonna lead to X Drake having a confrontation with them. So that'll be really exciting. Rear Admiral member of Sword Kobe. It would mean that the world government's coming to pirate-led Wano to conduct deals of some kind. My mind went blank for minutes after I saw it. Where are you now? I'm on my way to the Island of Women to capture the pirate Empress Boa Hancock. I still can't believe that, dude. That's insane. Like, yo, Kobe going out to try Hancock, dog. Now, I love me some Kobe, man. But that's Hancock, dog. That's, if you favorite, like, oh my God, so, but still, that the government's coming to pirate-led Wano to conduct deals of some kind. So that could definitely lead to confrontation because I'm pretty sure that is what Drake is currently investigating, right? So if Orochi manages to get up and he wants to move around, that would probably indicate that Orochi meets Drake. And Orochi and Drake would have a direct confrontation. And then maybe whenever Drake reveals himself as a member of Sword, one of the members of Togoropo over here, and that's whenever they have their clash. That could possibly happen. Regardless. But all over the world, it was wrong to have worked with pirates in the first place. They should have done this a long time ago. Those government lapdogs are going bye-bye. Stupid pirate Empress, Hawkeyes, the clown. Put some respect on Buggy's name, dog. There was one news story that stunned all who heard it most of all. Are they sure about this? That was one of the three great powers of the world. The dissolution of the Seven Warlords system. It's amazing how long that had been built up, and to see it actually come into fruition here in this chapter, my mind was blown. Like, I was like, yo, this is actually happening, dude. Enough of these passengers acting like hot shots, but they did a whole lot in the Paramount War. They're all gonna get arrested soon. And right here we see a panel with Cobra. After an impassioned argument with two kings whose nations had suffered because of the Seven Warlords, the matter was put to a majority vote and passed. And therefore all of your privileges of the Seven Warlords have been automatically revoked. You no longer have any ties to the world government. Empty Buffs Island, New World. That means you are nothing but a pirate again, Buggy. And look at Buggy. Now this is some grade A bull, Buggy. First you suddenly declare me one of them. Then you say you're done with it and you want to arrest me? No honor in the whole lot of you. Buggy's delivery chairman, former warlord Buggy the Clown. But yo, my boy Buggy's got a squad with him, man. I dare them to try my boy. But yo, yeah, they have a fleet going after Buggy, dude. Look at that thing. Chairman Buggy, we've got the whole coast surrounded. So just because you let Crocodile and Doflamingo get up to shenanigans under your noses, you're gonna take it out on the rest of us? My life's plans are ruined. What do we do, Chairman? Run away? What? We're gonna fight like hell. That's what we'll do. Yeah, that's our Chairman Buggy. Now go out there and show what we're made of. In the meantime, I'm gonna skedaddle. You know, classic Buggy, good content right there, man. That's gonna be great. So look forward to the next time that we see Buggy, man. But here we go, bro. This is the stuff right here, dog. I swear, yo. Next time that we come back to this, can you imagine just mad government ships caught up, cut in half, cut in pieces, and Mihawk still sitting in this pose like, dog, when are y'all gonna bring somebody who's actually of worth? And then an admiral shows up. Ruins of Monkey Kingdom, Gloom Island. Surrender yourself at once, Hawkeye's Mihawk. I feel the thrill of excitement. It's been so long since I was the one being chased. Yo, bro, he looks so nasty. He looks so gold in this battle, dude. Like, yo, I can't wait to see what's gonna happen with that. Because with Mihawk going up in there like swimwear to take care of this situation, because he has individuals coming towards him, and that's why he sent Perona away, because he was like, yo, things are gonna get nasty. And I'm just looking out for you, dog. Things are gonna get nasty. So all these ships that are coming in, like I said, if they don't have anyone that's Admiral caliber, Admiral tier, He's gonna bro. He's gonna go ham. The next time that we see Mihawk here, I am telling you 110%. These ships are gonna be caught up, and if an admiral doesn't show up, they ain't gonna do nothing to him. Mihawk's gonna go out and go out in the seas. There's a theory going around that he's gonna join Shanks' squad. I don't know, but what I can tell you is how awesome would it be if the next time that we saw Mihawk with all of like the wood and the pieces of the ship around, and then like Fujitora, Green Bull, Kizaru shows up, dude. I would lose my mind if we had a little clash between them. Yo, I would. Don't even get me started. Any type of Mihawk action would have me lose my mind. Any type of Mihawk action, let alone Mihawk versus an admiral, dude. Yo, man, dude, we would, like, in the community, we would be, that's the Santa Hat level. That's Santa Hat, that is moving everywhere, that's running around the flipping planes. That's a trending chapter right there, yo, that happens with Mihawk. But regardless, even if an admiral doesn't show up, I just want to see the aftermath of this, man. Even if we don't get to see even a single panel of Mihawk opposing these ships, to see the aftermath of Mihawk still sitting like in the same pose, or him like putting the blade back, or something with like all this debris around him, I'd be so hyped, dude. So I can't wait to see the aftermath of this Mihawk situation, man. And if they really are going to send an admiral, because in order to, if they said that they really don't have any manpower, that means they send out everybody. So either the SSG is going after Mihawk or admirals. It's got to be one of the two. The world government can't be that stupid. During Marineford, you guys remember, every movement that Mihawk did was being observed by the other Shichibukai members, the members of the Marines, and of the Whitebeard Pirates. Everyone was observing Mihawk at all times. He was dangerous. He is dangerous. He is a X factor. If my man ever decided to defect, they would have that would be like a code red. That'd be a DEFCON 5, bro. They'd be losing their mind. They would be like, yo, burn. They'd be like, yo, man, we gotta take care of this dude instantly. So if I am the Marines, I'm sending admirals. I might even send 3. I'm real talk, bro, just to ensure it. Just to ensure that my boy gets captured. Because if they're sending 1, that's going to be a hard-fought battle. They send 2, it'll be like, okay, like, they'll probably bring him back. But 3, that's for sure. That's for sure. Like, they're bringing Mihawk back. You feel me? But if they're not expending all of that and they only send 1 or they send none, then the SSG better be powerful as Flagnars, because if not, Mihawk is staying free off in those seas. That's all I'm saying, dude. On an island in the New World, and right here we go back to Weevil. Now, Weevil is a very, very interesting case, because I originally thought that we were going to have, I thought he was a shadow in Onigashima, and I thought that he was going to show up within Onigashima because of his connection to Whitebeard Pirates, and of course with Blackbeard, and maybe even chasing after Luffy because of connection to those two. I just wanted to see if he would show up in Onigashima and be that X factor that shows up and just starts going ham on both sides against Kaido and Big Mom and against the Alliance, and he just starts going off, right? And then of course with Bobbity over here being a member of the Rocks, it's going to be a scenario where there's all sorts of connections and establishments and little threads that could, flourish and really become something great if they were to show up in Wano with Weevil. So if it does end up happening, that would be awesome. But if it doesn't end up happening, and we see Weevil out here dealing with these Marines with riot shields, thinking they're going to do something, or maybe they send an admiral over to Weevil as well. Maybe even Kizaru, the one who introduced him in the first place. But I'm interested in seeing what happens with Weevil, man, because Weevil's so interesting, with the whole Whitebeard's son concept, when we know of his strength, but also just like the overall connection to Whitebeard and Blackbeard, and now we know the connection with the Rocks. It's going to be interesting. A very, very interesting scenario with Weevil. And I look forward to seeing how Oda resolves that, and the next time that we do end up seeing Weevil. Are we going to see Weevil in an end of act chapter, or are we going to see him next in Onigashima, or possibly in post Wano, out and acting about? And then we get to the final page. Because it seems they're not on our side anymore. Well, that's their mistake. Get them all, Weevil. I can't, and I'll kill them all in the name of Whitebeard. Island of Women, Amazon Lily. And I'm so hyped to see Boa go in, dog. We've got a situation, Snake Princess. The rights of the 7 warlords have been stripped away. There are Navy ships out at sea. Don't panic, you seem to have forgotten something. The reason they chose us to be the seven warlords was for our strength. And that's facts, dog. Yeah. And I love this pose. I mean, Hancock's just chilling. She's sitting in the same pose that I have for the red in Treasure Cruise, because I have the Hancock red, the one that goes up to cost 65. He's in that same exact pose. And like I said, because of Stampede, because of this chapter, because of how awesome she plays in Pirate Warriors, I've been in a Hancock mood. Like, yo, I can't wait to see her in action, man. And go up and like somewhere, perfume, famous all over the place. And I'm mellow, you know what I'm saying, dog? Like, dude, I think out of all of them, because Buggy, I think overall as a character, is still probably my favorite out of the entire bunch, because I absolutely adore Buggy. He's such an interesting and hilarious character. But in terms of overall interest and my excitement to see what they do next time, Hancock and Mihawk, dude. Like, dude, I can't wait to see the aftermath of what Mihawk has done, and I can't wait to see what happens with Hancock and Kobe. Because now Hancock and Kobe are both connected to Luffy. So Hancock could do something with Kobe to where it leads her over to Wano with Luffy, or maybe post Wano with Luffy, right? So I'm not sure, but I'm going to assume that Luffy and Kobe are at the very least going to throw hands for a little bit. Now, I don't know if Hancock's going to pwn him. I'm going to assume that she is, because as far as from what I know and what I can gather, Hancock is definitely stronger than Kobe. I think that's for sure, right? So I'm interested, like, in just an entire scenario. Like, the next time that we come back and we see Hancock once again, I want to see the aftermath of it, and I want to see if she's gone up in like swimwear and just pwned a whole bunch of individuals, just as her and Kobe one-on-one. Or if it's gonna be a conversation between her and Kobe after they've gone at it, talking about Luffy, the situation on Onigashima, because Hancock is gonna do whatever needs to be done in order to ensure that Luffy's happy and Luffy's good. So if Hancock gets wind of this Sabo situation, could she go over there to attempt to help Sabo with that situation, or is she gonna 100% now? I mean, she's gonna have to protect her island for the time being, right? So she's not gonna be able to leave. But maybe once that's ensured that in Amazon Lily nobody will get hurt, maybe she can go out and start taking care of business and stuff, and go out and help Luffy and whatnot. But for right now, top priority is to take care of Amazon Lily, because she's gonna have to act her role as the princess of this island. So that's the Pirate Empress, dog. She rules this island, and we know how much these individuals mean to her because of her backstory. So I want to see what she does right now, man, because, you know, that's going to be uncuffed, going up in like swimwear Hancock. I can't wait to see the aftermath of that so bad, man. So bad. But that conversation with Kobe is going to be so interesting, because that's going to lead us down multiple different paths on what's going to happen. Whether she does end up going to Onigashima, whether it's like a post-Wano scenario where they meet up again, whether it's she entrusts something with Kobe, or Kobe entrusts something with her, they come to an agreement. Maybe they just duke it out. There is no agreement. But with how we know how Hancock works and how much she loves Luffy, I am curious on if she would act upon that Sabo situation, or if she would just ensure, first and foremost, the security and safety of her people, and to go out and see what the king is doing and whatnot, man. But that's chapter 956 with the hype and the awesome sauce, dude. I love this chapter, and it's insane to me that 957 is even more insane than that. But 956, in terms of mysteries and in terms of discussion-worthy topics, I am still talking about these on a normal basis. The stuff brought up in this chapter, with what's going down in the Kingdom of Alabasta with Vivi and Cobra, the Sabo stuff, what's going to happen now with the abolishment of Shichibukai around the world, what's going to happen now with Mihawk, with Hancock, with Buggy, with Weevil, and everything going down there with the SSG, what's going to happen in the future with Sword as an organization, is Aokiji a part of them, what's going to happen now with Blackbeard going out to retrieve whatever this thing is, an opportunity, and a fruit, an ancient weapon, is that going to lead to his conversation with Shanks? Like, there's just so much in the Big News Morgans, the thing with Wapol leaving that bit of intel for what happened. I'm going to assume what happened in Alabasta. It's like, yo, there's so many bits and pieces from this chapter that you could talk about endlessly, and it's insane. I still think back and I'm like, dude, I don't know how he released so many of these chapters, like, just filled with so much insane content. And this is one of them. This is one of those that I'll never forget when I first read it, man. This is one of those, you read the chapter and you can't wait to record the afterthought chapters. This was pure, unadulterated insanity. What a crazy chapter. And the crazy thing is that I'm so invested in the current stuff in Onigashima that even if we don't go back until post Wano, I'm good because of how much I'm loving the current content. But dude, when we go back, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy seeing the aftermath of all these events and what actually happened. Like, there's so much mystery here, and Oda's such a tease. I can't wait, man. I can't wait to see some more from 956. But it was great being able to go back, because I've gone back to this chapter a few times, but within the past like month, I was like, man, I really want to go back to read this chapter in a Recon's piece and really go through it again, like in an afterthoughts type of way, and see if, and just think about it, man, because it's good to think about these types of chapters because we're so invested in Onigashima, but to remember what's happening around the world right now and whatnot. And I can't wait, bro. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, son. When we come back to all this, and we see what's going on with Sabo, Vivi, but then, man, some hype moments and some awesome sauce with Mihawk and Hancock, Buggy, Weevil. And like I said, because I've been in such a massive Hancock and Mihawk mood, and Buggy as well because of Stampede. Like, dude, I'm ready for some action. I'm ready to see what's going to happen there with all of that leading into the final saga of the series where so many things are going to pop off. And I just wonder if a lot of this is leading towards this war that Kaido's doing in Onigashima, or if we're looking bigger picture stuff and everything that's going down right here is going to be resolved within that final saga, that final stretch of arcs in the final saga of One Piece, which I'm going to assume after Wano we are going to be entering the final saga of One Piece. So within that final stretch of arcs leading into the final, within the final saga, that's where we'll probably get the answers to a lot of this stuff. Or my ankles could be broken, and at the end of Act 3, we come right back to this and see what's going down. And then in Act 3, Act 4, Act 5, and then post Wano, it's going to be the craziest out of all of them, which is... can't even imagine that, man. But yo, I will see y'all next time. Have an awesome day. Let me know what y'all thought. I should say, still think about 956. If you have any new comments, speculation, theories, worthy notes of discussion for this chapter, or in anything residing around it and how it could possibly connect to Onigashima, post Wano, and the future of the story. Because this is one of those chapters that you could talk about endlessly, man. And, man, dude, what a chapter. 956 greatness. The fact that the bearer of Big News Morgans, my guy, was in this chapter and did something awesome, and that isn't my major talking point, that's how you know this chapter was great. When Blackbeard is in a chapter, Mr. Zeha, any chapter with him is a 10 to me, bro. I love that character. The fact that he isn't the major talking point for me, that's how you know this chapter was something crazy. So y'all have a good one, man. This has been the Recon's Piece. Everybody has a blessed day. One Piece awesome sauce, man. Take care, y'all.